Painting for me it's about thoughts and it's about feelings, those of other people and of my own. And the interaction of the two is what allows me to create a visual that really includes all of that. And when I show people a painting or a drawing, it might have a lot of pain in it. I just don't talk about it. I know it's there. Or it might have a lot of joy. And I might not make that the focal point, but for me, I know it's there. Sometimes before I start a painting, I'll write all over the canvas or the panel. I'll write a whole bunch of stuff. I'll write people's names, who I like to remember, people who are deceased. And I then end up painting over it. And I know, and only I know, that it's there. Sometimes I don't tell anyone. Sometimes I only tell Christine, that's there. And look, I'm painting over it, but I'll know it's always there. Anyway, art is my way of telling stories, and it's because I don't like for things to take up space in my head. And this is my way of working through them. You know, with painting and drawing, it's how I work towards some kind of freedom, you know. And I think that's something that everyone is looking for, some kind of freedom. I was born in 1983 here in the Bronx, and I've lived here my entire life. By the time that I was 10 years old, it was 1993, and there was so much graffiti and a lot of hip hop around me from as early as I can remember. So my Uncle Larry and his friends, you know, they definitely were influential to me in my artwork and wanting to become an artist. It was because they were graffiti writers. My mom and my dad, they were all major influences in my thinking. And, you know, the hip hop really fueled my desire to want to draw. You know, my uncle and his friends and their black books, and, you know, me being a 5-year-old little dude in 1988, looking through people's drawings and outlines and pieces, I was really fascinated by that, and I wanted to do it. The branch of my uncle, though, in the world that he was a part of, I wanted to be part of that too. And so I started drawing, and my mom taught me how to like combine colors and shapes. My uncle and his friends, they would always tell me, like, if you start practicing now, you know, with your writing, your handwriting, you know, you'll be really good in this amount of time, and you just keep doing it and doing it. But don't get in trouble, you know. You know, it must have been about 10 or 11 when I took my first art class. That was at the Bronx Museum of the Arts. They had classes on Saturdays that my boy Alberto told me about. So we went every Saturday for a year. We took illustration, animation, and fine arts. And, you know, that was an amazing experience because for that year, you know, I was changed forever from then on, as a child, as an artist. So my freshman year of high school, I had an English teacher who, after a few weeks of seeing me, you know, always doodling and drawing in my notebook, she came up to me one day and she was like, you know, Fausto, what are you doing here? You should be at an art school. So she inspired me to ask myself the same question, you know, what am I doing here? So I applied to the High School of Art and Design. I got in the next year and I started going there, and I majored in fine arts. In studying fine arts, I was able to develop, you know, a lot of work in watercolor and oil paint and acrylic. I was able to get into sculpture, and you know, it really helped me push myself in another way, yet layering more and more experience in art in another setting with an instructor who was so inspiring. Fast forwarding like 10 years after high school, my brother Luis Perez, Rigoberto Tumala, and I, we formed Lost Breed Culture. And it was dedicated, you know, to our love for hip hop, culture, music, art, and the history of our city, New York City. From the time that Luis, Rigo, and I started Lost Breed Culture, even that has evolved over time as our artwork has, and that we began by, you know, putting our artwork and our designs and logos and things like that on t-shirts. So we started screen printing and doing things like that. My cousin George, who was a major influence to me. Like I've learned so much from him, you know, and I still continue to learn from him. I admire his dedication to his artwork and what he does. My wife Christine, she inspires me every single day. She's one of the reasons why I continue to paint, and I don't think I would be painting if it weren't for her. I love her so much, and she keeps me going when it comes to art and when it comes to life. You know, I just finished taking an art history course. You know, I'm a lifelong learner. I never want to stop learning. I never want to feel like I've got it. You know, so in that spirit, I took an art history course, and I want to continue exploring the world of art. And you know, art is something that I love, and I find it incredibly inspiring. It makes me want to do everything in my life so well, because it really helps me see my own thoughts, and I really want to inspire other people to find something that they love to do and that they want to continue getting better at, whether it's art, you know, painting or cooking or singing, whatever it is, it's a great process of growth and making something and then wanting to make something else and not having any limitations, that really you feel free. I feel free. And you know, I feel free when I paint. And at the end of my life, I would like to think that at least a part of it was destined for freedom.